You're lying in bed, perfectly still, eyes closed, and inside your head, you are absolutely destroying someone in an argument that took place 3 years ago, involves a person you'll probably never see again, and has no real-world consequence whatsoever. And yet, you are invested, deeply, emotionally, completely invested. If that sounds like you, here's what I want you to know before anything else. You are not weird. You are not broken, and you are definitely not alone. What you're doing has a name, a function, and a surprisingly respectable place in cognitive psychology. So let's talk about it. The easy assumption is that people who imagine fake scenarios are anxious overthinkers who can't let things go. And while anxiety can absolutely fuel the habit, that explanation misses the bigger picture entirely. Because the brain doesn't run imaginary scenarios out of dysfunction, it runs them because simulation is one of the most powerful cognitive tools it has. Here's what's actually happening when you play out a fake scenario. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, reasoning, and anticipating consequences, is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's modeling a situation, testing responses, and gathering information about how to handle something before it happens, or how it could have gone differently after it did. Researchers call this mental simulation, and it's not a quirk of anxious minds, it's a feature of sophisticated ones. The brain, remarkably, doesn't fully distinguish between a vividly imagined scenario and a real one. Neuroimaging studies have shown that the same regions activate whether you're experiencing something or imagining it with enough detail, which explains why a fake argument can leave you genuinely tense and why rehearsing a difficult conversation in your head can make you calmer when it actually happens. Your nervous system takes the simulation seriously because to your brain, the simulation is practice. Now, the specific scenarios most people run tend to fall into a few emotional categories, and each one tells you something real about what's unresolved inside you. The replayed argument where you finally say the perfect thing, that's your brain chasing closure it never got. The imagined confrontation with someone who wronged you, that's a need for dignity trying to restore itself. The future scenario you rehearse over and over, the job interview, the difficult conversation, the moment you finally set the boundary, that's preparation. That's your mind doing exactly what athletes do before competition, what surgeons do before surgery, mental rehearsal that genuinely improves real-world performance. Sports psychologists have documented this for decades. Visualization of performance activates the same neural pathways as the performance itself. The brain you use to play out a stressful imaginary scenario is the exact same brain Olympians use to win races before they've run them. The machinery is identical. The only difference is the direction it's pointed. But there's a shadow side worth naming honestly. When mental simulation becomes a loop, when you replay the same painful scene endlessly without resolution, when the imaginary confrontation becomes a daily ritual rather than a single processing moment, it stops being preparation and starts being a way of staying inside pain without moving through it. Psychologists call this rumination, and it's the version of scenario building that costs you. The distinction between healthy simulation and rumination usually comes down to one thing, whether you feel clearer after the scenario or more stuck. So here's the reframe I want to leave you with. Your imaginative mind is not a problem to be managed. It is an instrument to be understood. It runs scenarios because it is trying to protect you, prepare you, and process things that haven't finished settling yet. That is not a flaw. That is your brain working on your behalf, sometimes clumsily, sometimes brilliantly, always trying. The work isn't to silence it. It's to learn the difference between the scenarios that are building something and the ones that are just keeping old wounds company. One points forward, the other just circles. And once you can tell them apart, you can start directing your extraordinary inner world with a little more intention. Your brain builds entire worlds inside itself. That's not something to be ashamed of. That's something to understand and then to use. Drop a comment below and tell me, what kind of fake scenarios does your brain run most? I genuinely want to know. Thanks for watching.